We are so grateful for you coming and hanging out with us right here at the homestead. You're a real blessing. If you will, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share this content with your friends. We're reaching for 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we know that with your help, we can get there. It's Saturday morning. We got things to do. Gonna get some lettuce planted. Even though it's wet and boggy like this, you know, I feel like I need to get it done. That lettuce in those trays is pretty big. This row right here, this is some arugula that I planted. I think it was last weekend. I planted it really dense, and I think it's going to do well. We'll see. I'm hoping in a few weeks I'll come back in here and we'll harvest some of this. It's a lot easier to get these seedlings out of the trays if you let that dry a little bit. But I'm not. I got a feeling that if I don't get them out of these trays, that we're going to start developing some root rot, and that can be very detrimental to your plants. Get ready for a rant. So, Noelle was telling me about a friend of hers. They don't live close to each other. One's a nurse, the daughter's a nurse. The mother is not. And so the conversation was in regards to COVID vaccination. And so the mother tells the daughter, you know, I've never had the flu. None of my kids have ever had the flu. I've never had the flu shot. I don't want to take any COVID vaccination. And so the daughter immediately says to her mother, you would be that person, you would be that nurse that would put all of your patients at risk and be selfish. I'm pretty disappointed in people right now. And the reason being is I don't see where that's a selfish behavior. So we can look at the whole mask thing, right? There's another perfect example that, and I've personally encountered this. I can't wear a mask. It gives me anxiety. And that's not healthy for Brian, right? So if I put that mask on, I have anxiety. That is detrimental to my health, okay? But the other person that is wearing a mask looks at me and says, you're putting my life at risk by not wearing a mask. And I don't think that's a fair statement. There has to be intent, right? If my intentions are to endanger your life, that's a different thing. You can give me a hard time about that, or you can have a conversation with me about that. But if it's about my health, about my well-being, then I don't think you can have that conversation. So I think we're we could call it a gray area, or we could call it a dividing line. But I think essentially what we've got to do is we've got to stop doing that. We've got to stop shaming people. Let's test it. Let's test our attitude by the Word of God. Okay? Am I loving my brother? Am I loving my neighbor? We've got one group of people over here, and I'm specifically going to pick on the authoritarian church. The non-denominational authoritarian church. They have been rampant this year in attacking people for personal decisions. If you don't fit in the box that we've created for you, then shame on you. This is what's coming from the authoritarian church. I have watched a pastor in prayer pray to God, please put a Democrat in the Oval Office. And that's wrong. We're supposed to pray, Lord, your will be done. And take ourselves and our greed and our boastfulness and our authoritarianism, we're supposed to take that out of prayer. And we're supposed to simply say, Lord, whatever it is that you will for my life, let me be a good witness to your glory and your power. That prayer by itself will drive people away from God. And Christ says himself, he says, if you should drive any one of these children away from me, you would be better to wear a millstone around your neck and be drowned in the ocean. We got to start looking at ourselves, stop being influenced so deeply by everybody out there and everybody else's opinion. Start looking at ourselves, looking at our own houses. Look at my house. Lord, let me look at my house and make good decisions based on what I believe your will is for me. Lord, give me the strength to leave my neighbor alone unless they invite me into their house. I think that's a good place to be. I think that creates comfort, and it's loving my neighbor. Loving my neighbor as myself. So if I'm looking at my house and I'm saying, hey, this is what's going on under my roof, and this is the thing that I believe the Lord has willed for us, then that's mine. That's me. It's on me. But for you to stand in front of Walmart and look at me shamefully because I don't have a mask on, or for you to tell me that I'm being selfish and I'm putting the rest of the world at risk because I don't want to take a vaccine, I think that's the wrong approach. If you don't do this thing, then you are hurting this huge group of people, and that's not the truth at all. And I think we got to stop that right now. Stop shaming people into thinking they're hurting the rest of the world because of decisions that they're making about themselves and their houses. Just stop it. Doing a few chores, feeding the chickens, collecting eggs. I figured I'd bring you along Also having a kombucha. Noel's moringa put flowers out. Now we haven't seen any seeds yet. I'm just guessing that they're not pollinating for whatever reason. But yeah, put out seed pods or flowers, and they're a pretty little flower. This Carolina Reaper has really come into its season. You can see there's a lot of peppers that need to be harvested, and I'm going to do that here in just a few minutes. We've got a lot of peppers that are drying inside, and they're really good. This Thai chili has slowed way down, and that's expected. You know, it's cooling off. The days are shorter, so it's just to be expected, right? But it's been a heck of a pepper. I tell you what, I've eaten a whole lot of those Thai chilies. A lot of Thai chilies, and they are good. Our turmeric is starting to get yellow leaves. This is about the time of the year that it's going to slow down. I don't know that we're going to get as much turmeric this year as what we did last year, but we'll see. You know, when Noel digs it up, we'll know. Cabbage or broccoli are doing pretty good. We've already started eating some of the broccoli, and it's good. It's good. You know, I guess if I had to give it a description, I would say it's loud. I've got a few heads of cabbage here I'm getting ready to pick. That's a beautiful head of cabbage right there. We'll pick that and we'll probably make sauerkraut out of it. I got quite a few coming on. Most of these are Bravo is the variety. But I'll show you, and I don't remember what the variety is, but I'll show you a different head. Right here. This is a different head of cabbage. I'm not sure what the variety is, but it's different. You can see that's going to be a big head of cabbage right there. That's going to be a nice head of cabbage. We have been having a time with worms here in South Georgia. And, you know, I'm fighting them as hard as I possibly can. But they've done a number on a lot of our produce. And so we're changing directions on our collards. I was hoping we were going to have an abundance that would allow us to sell collards by the bunch. We make a collard green dip that is just out of this world. Maybe we'll share the recipe with you. But it's been a hit with the people we've been sharing it with. We've been kind of introducing some of the stuff we make here on the homestead. The collard dip, the salsa that I make with the Carolina Reapers. And it has been a real hit. I am so pleased to be able to take a product that we've grown right here in our soil and know how it's been handled and put it into a finished product that we can sell to our friends and our family. If you have a homestead and you sell stuff off of your homestead, don't ever be ashamed of what you charge for your product. You've put your hard-earned time and invested your dollars into your homestead, and people should be willing to get on board with what it is you're trying to do. We hope that our friends and our family would be supportive and that they would want to invest in what we're trying to do. I want to make sure you understand that if you're in this adventure also of growing your own food, of building a homestead, of becoming more self-sufficient, more self-reliant, more independent, okay, you are worthy. What's the matter? Silly chickens. Something else we've decided we're going to do here on the homestead is we're going to start offering classes on gardening, on fermentation. You know, we make sauerkraut on our own, and so we're gonna start offering classes right in our home to people that want to come and learn more about becoming self-sufficient, or learn more about growing their own food, or maybe preserving food.